This conversation is powered by Google Illuminate. Check out illuminate.google.com for more. So you want to conquer the HF bands? Let's figure out the best frequencies for you. Which bands are best for long-distance chats?
For really reliable long-distance stuff, 20 meters is your best bet. It's usually pretty good, no matter what the sun's doing.
Right. But what if 20 meters is all jammed up?
Then 15 meters is a good one, especially when there are a lot of sunspots. It's got great range.
And for shorter hops?
40 meters is great for talking to people nearby day or night.
Okay, daytime bands. What's good for shorter range daytime chats?
For shorter hops during the day, 40 meters is a solid choice. It's reliable and not usually too crowded.
And for longer distances?
20 meters is still pretty good, even during the day. It's a good mix of range and activity. 10 meters can also be great when there are lots of sunspots.
Any other daytime bands worth a look?
15 meters can be surprisingly good during the day, especially around sunspot maximums. It's a bit more unpredictable than 20 meters, though.
All right, nighttime. Which bands come alive after dark?
80 meters is a workhorse at night. It's great for longer distances, but it can be noisy sometimes.
What about for really long-range nighttime contacts?
80 meters again, or 40 meters if conditions are right. 160 meters is another option, but you need a bigger antenna for that one.
Any other nighttime bands that stand out?
160 meters is a bit less consistent, but it can sometimes surprise you with long-distance contacts if everything lines up.
Let's talk about the worst bands. Are they worth checking out?
The worst bands 30, 17, and 12 meters are less crowded, but how well they work depends a lot on the conditions.
Which worst band is usually the best?
17 meters often strikes a good balance between activity and how well the signal travels. It's a good alternative when other bands are busy.
Any tips for using the worst bands?
Be patient. They're less crowded, but also less predictable.
So what's your overall strategy for picking a band?
Think about how far you want to talk, the time of day, and what the propagation is like. Check online for real-time forecasts. They're really helpful.
Anything else to consider?
Your antenna makes a huge difference. A good antenna will really improve your chances of success.
And the radio itself?
You definitely need a multi-band radio to explore different frequencies.
Let's talk more about antennas. How much does your antenna choice affect things?
A lot. You need a good match between your antenna and the band you're using. What works great on one band might not be so good on another.
What are some popular HF antennas?
Dipoles are pretty versatile and easy to make, while Yagis give you more power but are more directional.
Any advice on where to put the antenna?
Higher is usually better, and good grounding is really important for best results.
How much do propagation conditions matter?
A huge amount. Sunspot cycles, time of day, even the season, they all affect how well the signals travel.
Where can I find info on current conditions?
There are lots of online resources with real-time propagation forecasts. They're invaluable.
What should I look for in those forecasts?
The MUF, or maximum usable frequency, and the solar flux indices are key things to watch.
How does band choice change during contests?
Contests get really busy on popular bands like 20 and 40 meters. The Van Amber bands can get surprisingly active too.
What about DXing? Are there bands DXers prefer?
20 meters is a DXer's favorite, but 15 and 10 meters are also great during sunspot peaks.
Any tips for successful DXing?
Good antennas, patience, and good listening skills are essential. Listen carefully for those weak signals.
For beginners, which bands are easiest to start with?
40 meters is a great place to begin. It's relatively easy to use and offers a good balance of activity and propagation.
What are some advanced techniques to improve HF performance?
Learning to use directional antennas and understanding different propagation modes can really help.
What are some common problems on HF and how do you fix them?
Antenna problems are common. Check your SWR and make sure it's properly grounded. Noise can also be a problem. Try using a filter or finding a quieter spot.
What resources would you recommend for learning more about HF bands?
Online forums, ham radio magazines, and talking to experienced hams are all great.
So to sum it up, 20 meters for consistent long distance, 40 meters for regional, and 80 meters for nighttime. Remember to think about propagation and your antenna.
Exactly. Experiment and see what works best for you and your location.
That was a great chat.